I'm going to go ahead and call the meeting in order. Start with Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, with liberty and justice for all. Well, good morning.
Good morning.
Angela, do we have any names up there we need to find out?
No, I've got them all.
Okay. From there, I can ask for today's approval of the agenda.
Make a motion to approve today's agenda.
I'll second that.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next is approval of the minutes of the 3rd, the 4th, the 9th, the 11th, and the 16th.
Lance, I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from September 3rd, September 4th, September 9th, September 11th, and September 16th of 2020 as presented.
I'll second it.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next is approval of claims for payment of 9/23/2020.
I will make a motion to approve the September 23rd, 2020 claims for payment.
I'll second that.
It's been moved and seconded.
Can I comment?
Yes.
Go ahead and finish your.
Discussion? Go ahead.
Yeah, can they hear me from there or do you need me up there?
They should be able to hear you.
Okay, I didn't know if the mics were good. Someone asked about, there's a payment to the auditor for $50-some thousand, and that typically doesn't show up in claims. So they asked and inquired what it was. It's a drainage assessment paid from secondary roads to the county. And typically that comes through as paid to the treasurer, but they coded it to the auditor because drainage is in my office, and then the check will come to us, and then Denise will be able to properly code it and then take it over to the treasurer. So I just wanted to clarify why there's a $50-some thousand payment to the auditor, and it looks weird to people who continually look at our claims. It stands out, and so that's what it is. It's just a drainage assessment from secondary roads, paying it to the auditor so that it can properly be coded and then given to the treasurer and put back into that drainage fund.
Okay.
Thank you. It's not a bonus.
Yeah, no, and it's not to me personally.
Okay, thank you. Any other discussion? Hearing no more, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Utility permits, I did not have any. Roads?
We got rid of another embargo bridge last week, so that's always good. Done by Union, and then we're just waiting on guardrail at the Gifford Bridge at the moment.
It's painted though?
I believe they're done painting. I think they were still doing it yesterday, but
Sealant, yeah,
they're right. Yeah.
Yeah, I talked to the crew yesterday, and they planned on having the sealant done by the end of today. And then guardrail is all that is left, and the striping on the deck.
Yeah, which that can be done.
Right.
That'll be done after.
Yeah, but those were the only things.
Well, that'll make people happy.
Yes.
Definitely.
Next I have is a resolution agreement for assessment of certificates of purchase at tax sale. We had these on last week, and we were asked to table them by Michelle.
Right. Do you want to let Michelle present it, and then?
Yeah, we can. Michelle?
Okay, we have a customer that requested this assignment of tax sale. It is a Hardin County tax sale that the owner of the property is kind of abandoned. They're not paying any taxes on it. So once it's published twice and no one takes it, then the county has to hold the tax sale certificate. Now we have somebody that wants to get that tax sale certificate assigned to them, and then they can go through the legal proceedings to get a deed in their name if no one redeems the taxes. So this request is put to you guys to agree or disagree. They're actually paying the tax plus the interest that's due up until August. So that's a good thing for the county for collecting the tax and the penalties. Of course, it's not a very big dollar amount, but this would get people, new owners to the property so that we could get it back on the tax roll and get rid of one more Hardin County tax sale. So I think it's a good thing.
Okay,
Thank you.
Michelle. Okay, I'd make a motion to approve the resolution for the assignment of the certificates of purchase at a tax sale. So 89191942606.
Hearing no discussion, roll call.
BJ,
Aye.
Renee,
Aye.
Lance.
Aye. Motion carries. Next I have is an application for the use of courthouse grounds.
I'll make a motion to approve the application for the use of the Hardin County Courthouse grounds. It will be for October 4th, 2020, from 2 to 3 p.m. The event is the Life Chain. So that will take place in October.
Okay.
It would be on the sidewalk on the north side of the courthouse.
I will second that motion.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? They have it between 2 and 3 p.m. And I hope they do their social distancing as best as they can. Any other discussion? Hearing no more, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next is acknowledge receipt of a letter from the Conservation Board. I put this on the agenda because we had a letter sent to us. In response to that letter, our attorney has looked at it, Darrell, county attorney, and it's his recommendation that the supervisors take no action as they lack jurisdiction at this time. So I can ask for the acknowledgement. We got the letter.
I'd make a motion to acknowledge the letter from the County Conservation Board Chair.
I'll second it.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Motion carries. Now I have is change of status at the auditor's office.
Lance, I'd make a motion to approve the change of status for Elaine Barr effective September 22nd, 2020 as a part-time temporary elections help at the rate of $10 an hour, not to exceed or less than 15 hours per week for Elaine Barr.
I will second it.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Emergency management update, Thomas.
So we're moving forward. COVID count was 19 this last report, which came out yesterday or the day before. We've had 19 over the past 7 days. And they tested nearly 400. So that's the count on COVID. I just got the email this morning. FEMA and Department of Human Services has chosen to supply masks, reusable masks, to the schools. And so within the next couple of weeks, we'll be doing a mass supply of reusable masks to the schools under the declaration. And then the progress continues on the EMPG supplemental and getting things put together with the COVID supplies and updates to the EOC for storage of those supplies. So that's on COVID side. On the derecho side, I just received an email. So we had multiple people that had home damage, but it was not what is classified under FEMA's classification. It is not major or destroyed. So when they looked at the initial assessment, preliminary damage assessment that we did with the pictures that went down to Homeland Security, they determined that we were not eligible for individual assistance from FEMA. Day before yesterday, I got an email from Dusty Pagones, who is the individual assistance officer for the state of Iowa, and we will be sitting down and re-evaluating those pictures and talking about where we're at. And I'll be working with a FEMA official and Dusty in what they, if anything, can be moved up to a major damage. There was only one that in my mind, would be a destroyed home. It was a trailer home that was moved on the foundation. But otherwise, most of them were siding or shingles or a hole in the roof. It wasn't anything that FEMA considers major where it took anybody out of their home, and that they can get it repaired within 30 days. So I'll be going back with Dusty online and looking at pictures and talking with him and FEMA representative to look at individual assistance shipped. The public assistance, because Hardin County was added into the declaration late, our closure date for applicants for the public assistance, which is any government entity or certain nonprofits that have public use that fit under the FEMA guidelines, their deadline for application is October 10. And so still working with Witten and Union. New Providence pretty much has their stuff all together. I just need to call them and see that somebody put their application in. Otherwise, I've got a couple of questions for state officials on Witten and unions we've been working through with the city officials, trying to get they're applied for. And we won't have a FEMA, we will not have the project managers here until after the week of October 10th. So the 10th is on a Saturday. So we won't have any project people here from FEMA until the week of the 12th or later. They won't send anybody out to start working on projects in these communities and putting their projects together for reimbursement until after the closing date for RPAs.
Okay. On a side note, I've had a lot of comments, very positive on you and how you've been working through this.
I have
Thank
two.
you.
And they're happy you were there for them.
Thank you.
There was a lady in Union yesterday, like in tears, just thankful for the work that's been done. So long time coming. So
Thank you.
Yep.
And it is, I will tell you that it has been declared by the governor that this week we're already through midweek, but it is, well, don't let me take your thunder and I'll
No.
shut up.
No, you go right ahead.
No, I'll let you.
Doesn't matter. No, I was just gonna make sure that somebody acknowledged it, so.
You go ahead. You have the declaration in front of you.
Let you guys know.
I don't have the declaration, so.
Okay, so we have the proclamation from the governor. It says, whereas we have seen this year, emergencies and disasters can strike anywhere at any time. And whereas emergency management coordinators and their staff answer the call serving as the immediate field responders in times of crisis and continue to dedicate countless hours to developing preparedness and response programs to protect the lives and property of Iowans. And whereas mitigation, preparedness, response, and recovery are the four main phases of activity that emergency managers have implemented to appropriately respond to our state's emergencies and disasters. And whereas beginning with COVID-19 pandemic, enduring more common flooding and tornadoes and surviving the derecho windstorm, which did extensive property damage while leaving hundreds of thousands of Iowans without power for days on end. Emergency managers were on the ground responding and supporting those in need. And whereas emergency managers continue to serve their communities across Iowa, responding to 63 federally declared disasters and emergencies, 45 of which have occurred in the last 30 years, including the COVID-19 pandemic and derecho this year alone. And whereas the efforts of Iowa's emergency management coordinators and their staff have implemented emergency management preparedness and response plans that help protect the health and safety of every Iowan. Now, therefore, I, Kim Reynolds, Governor of the state of Iowa, do hereby proclaim September 21st through the 25th, 2020, as Emergency Management Appreciation Week in Iowa and commend its observance to all citizens of the state.
thank you, Thomas.
Thank you. You didn't have any more for us, did you? Nope. Okay. Well, at this time, I will go ahead and open it up for public comments. Should be able to unmute yourselves.
Yeah, this is Dave. I just want to echo a little bit along with what Renee said regarding EMA week and the things that have been on Thomas's plate since coming to Hardin County between the COVID, the derecho, the countless hours he's done in training and meetings with hospitals, schools, nursing homes. Just everything that he's done, a tremendous asset to Hardin County, and we're very thankful to have him here.
Yes,
Thank you, Dave.
I agree. Thank you.
Are there any?
I have a couple of questions to ask. Didn't we purchase, and this is maybe for Thomas, didn't we purchase those $5,000 instruments to check people's temperatures and stuff? Didn't we purchase 2 of those?
We actually purchased 3. And
Okay, where are those? Shouldn't those be here already?
they are.
How come we're not using them?
We are. They're $2,500, and they are at the main entrance to the courthouse. They're at the lobby, and everybody's required to check in there and have their temperature taken. There's one at the administration building. And then there is one at the sheriff's office, and we use that one and the administrative one we remove on, well, it'll probably be Tuesdays now, as we're working with the court and using the Emergency Operations Center as the jury selection rooms for the court system on Tuesdays for juries. And so we have to have some type of way to take temperatures. And so we take those during that day, at least in the morning, and check people in. So they are in use.
Okay, because I was gonna say the other day I was at the courthouse and it was not there, and I didn't have my temperature or anything taken, so I kind of wondered where our instruments were at and what we had done with those, so thank you.
That's right in the right corner.
And the other thing, okay, I'm sorry, do you have something else to add to that?
It's right inside the door, and that's the first thing that they require you to do when you come in.
Okay, but it wasn't done for me, so maybe it was used someplace else, because they didn't have it there and it was not used on me, so that's why I wondered about it.
Depending on the issue.
But then I had another comment. Saturday, or last Saturday? Or the Saturday before. Anyway, there was a big motorcycle gathering. And Lance, you talked about social distancing at the courthouse grounds for the life change thing. You hoped that they did social distancing. This motorcycle gathering thing that I saw, those motorcycles were jam-packed, parked on top of each other. The people were shoulder to shoulder. There was no mask. There was no social gathering. There was a police car parked at the old, what do I want to say? I think it used to be called Rainbow Car Wash or whatever. I can't remember if I actually saw an officer inside the car or not. But anyway, so what about those gatherings? I'm sure that was a COVID place for sure, that we really spread the COVID in Hardin County there. So what about those things?
I think that's very accusatory of you, Pauline, to make that judgment. And
Well, I don't think it's accusatory at all. I
also
mean,
think
there
you
was
made a
hundreds of
decision.
people there.
all
Pauline, let
by
him
their own
answer.
decision. all by their own decision. There's only certain things we can govern and there's things we can't govern. The freedom of choice
Well-
is one of them that we can't.
Okay, but Lance, you made the comment about social distancing on the courthouse grounds. Well, what about the motorcycle thing?
They on courthouse grounds is what Dave's saying.
We don't have jurisdiction within Eldora anyway, and we don't have the authority to mandate the use of the mask. So, no.
Okay, and I did have another comment about the bridge there. Taylor, when did you say the bridge was going to be open?
I did not, and I will not.
Why?
Because we don't have an exact date.
I talked to the guys that were, and correction on your point, we're not painting the bridge, we're sandblasting that. And they said that, they told me that they were going to be done Tuesday already at the very latest. They said maybe even by the weekend. So, what's up with that?
We have no
And I-
control.
That's just the painting people. Yes, they still
I
need to.
talked,
We're not opening it without guardrail. That's a big no-no. I don't need anybody drowning this weekend.
When is the contract due?
what do you mean by guardrails? Because that there's stone on the side of the bridge. So are you adding some extra on the side of the stone then?
Elaine, give us a chance to answer the question before you ask another one.
Okay,
They had 120 working days, and it is the longest bridge in the county. With the DOT recommend 120 days, we said, okay. And I think that stretches just into the first week of October now.
Okay.
So that's barring no rain, obviously, or anything else that we would forgive a working day for. So they have until then to legally get it done before we start charging them damages. It still needs guardrails. She is referring to just the part of the bridge. The guardrail I'm referring to would be the metal part they put on the end that extends further and then it tapers out, mainly to prevent people from hitting the concrete part of the bridge. So that is what we're waiting on, and it would be illegal to open it without that.
Along with the timeframes, Pauline, they have working days. How a working day, at what he's talking about is if it rains, that's not a working day. So right now they can push back to the first week of October if they so choose, because they're the contractor. They can wait to the last minute before penalties are put on them. Or they can pay the penalties if they want to go later. But it's still a contract. We're at the mercy of the contractor. It's not us doing the work. We can't say we will have it open. The contractors are doing it. And they have deadlines to make, and they have at least till the first week of October.
okay, I understand that. I did not realize you were also putting guardrails up. There was never guardrails there before, so I did not know that. So where are the guardrails coming from then? Shouldn't they already be pre-treated and done and just have to be put up?
Pauline, they would come with the contractor. We don't provide the material.
It's a specialized subcontractor. Yeah, he'll show up and it won't be hard for him to do, but he's probably the guy that has 3 or 4 jobs lined up every week. So I'm sure he's busy.
Okay, so that shouldn't take any time at all really to do.
No, just him getting there. He's in the business of making money. He will get as much done as he can, as quick as he can.
Okay, well, thank you.
Were there any other public comments? I have one up there. Did you see Kevin's house in New Providence? I don't know who Kevin is.
Yeah.
I think that was in regard to Thomas's comments on FEMA.
Okay. Any other public comments?
Just acknowledge it. I'll go back to New Providence and check it out.
Okay.
I gotta go that way today.
Thomas said he'll go back to New Providence. Hearing no other public comments, I can go to other business.
This is Michelle, and I would just like to remind property owners that property taxes are due by the end of September. We encourage you to pay online. The drop box we have at the east entrance, or there's the mail option, or you can make an appointment if you do want to come see us. Just give us a call. We'll get an appointment for you and we'll be happy to service you. But just a reminder that they are due by the end of September.
Michelle, quick question for you. When you
Sure.
mail it, does it have to be received here by the end of September or postmarked?
It just has to be postmarked by September 30th, but people need to realize that if they drop it in the drop box on September 30th, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to get postmarked the 30th because of the times that the post office picks up mail. So if you dropped off your check in the drop box at the post office after 4:30, that's going to get postmarked October 1st. So they just have to be mindful of when that postmark's going to happen. So I always encourage to mail the day before so that you know you're going to get that postmark on the 30th.
Oh, thank you.
Yep.
Is there any other business? Hearing no more, I could ask for a recess, and 10 o'clock would be the suggested time to recess to.
Lance, I'll make a motion to recess until approximately 10 a.m. today.
I'll second it.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. We're recessed.